It's my absolute pleasure to introduce Professor Leon Terry. Professor Terry, he is Director of Environment and Agri-Food at Cranfield University, and he is also co-director of the Horticultural Quality and Food Loss Network. Welcome, Leon, and over to you for your first presentation.
Thanks, Helen, and hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to talk to you today. So I'm going to talk to you about a new initiative funded by the UK government through UKRI. It's the Horticultural Quality and Food Loss Network. It was set up last year, so we've been going about a year, and I'll just talk you through what the network is about. So before I do that, I thought I'd just give a little one slide on some of the context of this with regards to food loss and waste. So in order to achieve Sustainable Development Goal 12.3, which is to essentially reduce food loss and waste at the consumer end by 50% by 2030. In order to do that, we have to not only have the technology and the policies, but most importantly, in my view, we need the people. Indeed, I think in order to allow us to achieve the 12.3 target, at the moment, we don't have sufficient human capital in terms of the scientists and technologies that are available. So we work with the UK government through specifically BBSRC, which is one of the research councils in UKRI, to set up this network to act as a collective voice for horticulture and food loss, to reduce food loss within the UK. But our hope is that this network will be rolled out, or a version of it rolled out to other parts of the world. So you'll see from there, there's a global map which has different colors on it. This is a piece of work that I asked my team to do a few years ago. We published it, I think, in 2019. And effectively, the darker the color, the more human capital there is in terms of scientific human capital to research post-harvest science. And you can see that the big glaring hole in the middle is in sub-Saharan Africa, where there's a real lack of post-harvest science and technology, which indeed is actually the place where the world needs it most. Okay, so moving on, the Horticultural Quality and Food Loss Network said is to act as a collective voice for UK horticulture and the post-harvest community. So we're particularly interested in creating a new cohort of early career researchers. So we have money to commission seed corn research projects, which then lead on to larger projects that might be either funded by UKRI through responsive mode, or funded by industry, or co-funded by government and industry. And there's a number of different funding schemes that people can put in proposals for. We're also there to act as a pump priming to enable new collaboration between business and the academic community within the UK. So the real focus is around reducing food loss and waste. This idea stems from the research framework that was published by BBSRC two or three years ago, which it fed into their delivery plan a couple of years ago. So the focus on this is not specifically on the consumer, but it's actually about intervening in terms of manipulating biology, creating new technologies to enable food loss to be tackled. So there's a few bullet points there around scope. So the project proposals can be focused on manipulating harvest windows, looking at optimizing uniformity, physical traits and nutrition, reducing the risk of spoilage created by plant pathogens, minimizing losses through having a better handle of fundamental biology and the mechanisms that might affect food storage and shelf life. And of course, setting up a network is always difficult, but we set this network up a few weeks before the pandemic hit. So like many people, we've had to adapt. And there's a bullet point there, which is really to increase the resilience of the fresh produce supply chain by understanding unforeseen events, for example, COVID and so forth. Okay, so we've got a diverse leadership team. We've got an advisory board and a management board. So the leadership team involves two co-directors, myself and Carol Wagstaff from University of Reading. The advisory board has representatives from UK government, from the World Resources Institute, from industry of different sizes, and from the academic community, as well as from RAP and DEFRA. And then the management board, whose role is to assess the quality and rank the proposals that come into us, is a collection of eminent scientists from around the UK that have specialisms in food loss and waste. So there are three types of funding that you're able to apply for. So the whole grant was about half a million. We've got three funding rounds. We just had our first one where we funded 6 projects. You can look at those on our website, and I'll show you that link at the end. So the three funding types are pump priming. So these are typically between £5,000 and £20,000 each for short-term feasibility projects. And the idea there is to create primary data in order to increase the chances and reduce the risk, but increase the chances of applying for larger responsive mode from BBSRC and others within UKRI. So typically responsive mode projects will be between £3,000 and £500,000 over three years. The second funding scheme is business innovation vouchers. These are effectively to enable or facilitate researchers to develop new relationships with industry. And again, the network visit funding is actually to enable academics to actually visit industry and create perhaps a pump priming project or a revenue in order to conduct food loss and waste research. So how to apply? So there's all of the information is on our website. There's a application form, a separate one for the three funding schemes. There's call guidance within that. There's terms and conditions. The awards are provided at 80% FEC. For those in the academic community, you'll know what that means. If you don't, then please look at our website, and you will receive the money 50% on the commencement of the project and 50% once you've delivered what you've promised at the end. The eligibility for the project proposal. So projects must be led by a UK-based researcher from any discipline, but they have to be based within the UK, and they have to be eligible for BBSRC research grants. And again, you'll be able to see that on the website. So there's a process. I'll go through the timings in a minute. So the evaluation criteria, pretty straightforward again on our website. So it's about scope. There are most marks are given towards scientific excellence and novelty, but you're also evaluated on stakeholder engagement and the potential for the project to lead onto a larger project. We've also stated that 50% of the funding from the network will be designated towards early career researchers. So the 2021 funding call was launched on the 4th of May. There's a deadline for the 6th of August. So if you haven't started working on your proposals, you still have time. The paperwork is not too onerous. We've kept the process very simple. Between August and September, we weed out any conflicts of interest. There's then a selection panel in September, and then projects are. We hope the projects will start between the 18th of October and the end of this year. So the projects tend to be quite short. As I said, the larger projects are between 5 and 20,000. So it's not a huge amount of money, but it is there to provide proof of principle and seed core money for much larger projects. So in terms of industry partners are essential to the business innovation applications and also for the NVFs. And industry can contribute in different ways. They can either give cash or they can give their time or access to facilities that being judged as in kind. So just to sort of finish off quickly. So although this is a domestically focused network, we've got partners all over the world. So the nations coloured in green, we have close associations with the respective post-harvest communities in those places, and we hope that this will act as a springboard in order to allow cross collaboration to extend the level of post-harvest research that's actually covered and carried out over the globe. If you look at the funding for plant science within the world, roughly it's about 95% is focused on harvest, on looking at primary production, and only 5% is on post-harvest science. So we're trying to change that. So to conclude, that's the website there, foodlossnetwork.com. The funding call's out. We've got money to give away, so please follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, there's a link there to the website where you can speak to us. So thanks very much.